today we're going to be cleaning up this mesh that I got off of the Morphosource library of pretty much like everything you can find in a museum. So yeah, the bug we've got today is the Lepidoptera Phyllodesma Americana, aka a cool moth. So I'm just gonna be cleaning this bad boy up a little bit so that I can print her and make a really cool bug thing. So I'm just gonna scale her up first so that we can see. Let's reset the origin. Turn on screencast for you guys. Oh, there's the first thing I noticed. We have a non-manifold hole in the mesh. Now, there's multiple ways you can fix this. Either you can do it manually, where you select this edge, and then Control F, and then fill, or Control F and grid fill. But sometimes, like you just saw, grid fill won't work. And that might not work, so that's where you can get these mesh repair tool modifiers. But in our case, I can alt click this, grab the ring. You gotta make sure you get just the precise edge. Control F, fill that bad boy up. And once that's done, you can right click, subdivide, grab some of these. Click G to turn on move after you get your proportional editing mode. Whoops. You can just pull that up. Match that curve just a little bit. There we go. Proportional editing mode, which is at the top here, it's this little circle. Basically just allows you to move everything around it as well when you just tweak one object. Alright, another thing I've noticed, we have just some loose geometry here, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all that. Don't need that there. And then anything else that looks non-manifold, I can check with my 3D print toolbox extension with the check all button. It might take a second, but after you give it its time. Oh, there we go. Yep, we can see that there's 49 non-manifold edges, so we're just going to do click make manifold. And it should be able to check all that for us and then fix it. You'll have to give it a second though. These are some pretty dense models. Alright. Did that destroy the mesh? Yes, it did. So we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do this ourselves manually. So first what we're gonna do is we're going to remesh this. Now, I was put on to a new remesher lately, which is MMGPY Mesh Remeshing. Great extension. Basically, you can control a whole lot more than your normal remesher. First, you want to click Auto Fit to Mesh, and it'll fit it to what your mesh is, and then you can click Remesh, and it will just try to go through and remesh it. But sometimes it's a little bit more strong. Like this one says it failed, so we just have to use the normal remesher. I almost got to show off the cool new tool. Oh, alright, so clearly that is not our guy. So we're just gonna bring this down, see how much we can remesh it without losing our entire critter. Okay. Try the sharp remesh. Okay. Alright, I mean, this is definitely getting somewhere. I almost liked 9 more because of the texture it gave. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 9 as a surprise here, and then I'm gonna go and turn on Dynatopo mode in Sculpt. Turn on my. Oh, let's see if I can fix that. If you notice that when I do this, I turned on my mirror and the button on the other side is like all wacky. You can go into layout mode, do Control A, all transformations, set origin to geometry, and now it should be better. There we go. Much better. Alright. So I'm just gonna go in here. I'm gonna smooth it out a little. I think first I'm gonna give it more geometry to it. Let me turn this down to, let's say 3. Give us a lot of depth in here. It might not look like a lot's happening, but if I turn on this, you can see that every time I hit the inflate tool, which this happens with a good few tools, it adds geometry. It adds a lot of geometry. So I'm just going along, and I'm doing that along all these edges here that might be the non-manifold issues. And then what we're seeing is this. Not much has changed. But in reality, we're getting a whole lot more geometry to work with, which we will be needing. There we go. Alright, then I'm going to turn my strength down on my smoothing modifier, and we're just gonna smooth it out a little bit. Some spots we missed up here, just in case. And gives a nice little texture here. Moth texture, I suppose. And we'll just go ahead and smooth out some other bits here. It was a pretty rough scan of the little guy. Alright, just to actually give some depth now, I am going to inflate this guy a little. Alright. We'll still smooth it out. Turn off Dynatopo mode and just actually give him some weight to his wings, so he's not just flapping nothing. Because I might be printing this guy, so I want him to be printable. Alright, that's giving something funky. Let's see what we can do about that. We'll bump that up to 6. And then now see what's happening. That's a little better. And you'll notice I've been switching in and out of the Dynatopo mode because it really has its it has its limits, and it's also really good for other stuff. It's great if you want to quickly weld geometry together, kind of like what I'm doing, because I'm just inflating the geometry so close to itself that it just merges. And that's just part of the tool, it's just what it does. It's specifically made for sculpting, and so I'll use that to get rid of geometry. And if you ever find that you can't move in easily with your camera or anything, do Alt middle mouse button. It'll reset your pivot point. Very useful. I use it literally all the time. I'm just giving him some lining over here. And the scraping tool is another one that's really good at adding and removing geometry. So if you're ever trying to get rid of those weird little odd bits on a sculpt, pop into your Dyn Topo mode and then use the scraping or inflate tool to kind of weld your geometry together. It's a little odd, but it works. And it works fast, typically. You do have to have terrible topology, though, for it. Like, your topology is gonna be ruined. So if you're doing a sculpt that's, like, mostly been done in, like, modeling mode and edit mode, this might not be the tool to help you, unless you're sculpting on it now and you're ready for that, because it will decimate your geometry. Well, that's why this guy was just a little sculpt we're fixing up. Make a little guy. And I will put in the description where you can get this model if you want to try or do anything yourself. I'd say it's pretty fun working on these models that libraries give you access to, and like science places give you access to. It's very nice of them. And they're usually really high quality, actually. Like, this is an insanely good scan. Sharpening up the horns a little bit. There we go. I was over here trying to add geometry and I wasn't even in the right mode. Look at that. Alright. Now that I've cleaned up the one side. Actually, this is a great time to teach you guys about the Symmetrize tool. So let's say you have one really nice side of a model that you just did. You don't want to have to just do the same thing on the other side. You just want it to be the same. There's the Mesh and then Symmetrize tool. And it will lag your computer, usually, for like a second or two, if it's a big mesh, which this one is. But trust me, it's a great tool. You pick whichever is your pretty side, and then you duplicate that to the other side. And yes, this was my pretty side. So positive X to negative X, and now it's this guy. And then you might have a non-manifold edge going straight down the middle. To fix that, you can either do M merge by distance, and then I'll usually bump out a 0 or 2. Give it a sec. And now we'll check the geometry, see if it's manifold. Might take a second, might lag your blender really badly, but just be aware that typically if you give it a second, it'll load. It's just you're gonna be lagging, especially if your mesh is as large as mine currently is at 1,000,000 vertices. Alright, well, this is gonna take a minute. I might have crashed my blender, so I'll pick this up at a later time. Hope this was fun. Have a good one.